Hi, Pablo. Firstly, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for taking part in this video series we're putting together, looking at agentic AI and AI agents. Welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much, Trevor. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great to have you. Just to kind of frame this a little bit, as I have done with the other partners that we're talking with, there's been a lot written about agentic AI and AI agents, certainly since the turn of the year. But everything that I've been reading so far seems to be focused on how it will impact either myself as a traveler when I'm looking or booking, or from a hotel perspective, i.e. how it could be helping a hotel. What we haven't seen is a lot being discussed about its impact specifically on the hotel tech providers. And so that's the angle that we wanted to take, looking at both the opportunities that agentic AI and AI agents could provide to hotel tech providers, but then also looking at it from a threat point of view, because any technology tends to bring both of those two challenges or opportunities and threats to the table. So let's start with the positives, because it's always a good way to kick this off. What opportunities do you feel AI agents and agentic AI is going to bring to hotel tech providers in the short to medium term? And we know we're kind of guessing and speculating here.
Absolutely. I think first differentiate between AI agents and agentic AI, which is
perfect.
There are two different things. And I think there's a lot of buzz in the industry, and you would agree with me that a lot of confusion. Hotels don't understand very well what the differences are, and this debate is a little far from them, and they're waiting somebody to, okay, this is a solution. That's not going to happen ever. Right. So from an AI and from an innovation perspective, what does AI bring to the table? And I think the AI has three main differences with search. And the first one is like understanding what a user is asking. Right. I think search does a good job here, but AI is way much better understanding natural languages and different like languages, English, Spanish, French, this for AI is much easier to understand, multilingual, and especially natural language. So we can search the way we think. Actually, we as users when we search in Google, we are searching in a way that is different the way we think. Right? When we ask an AI search engine, we are just expressing what like we in a normal conversation. That's the first innovation. Second innovation is like analyzing that message and proposing recommendations. So this is where AI brings a lot of innovation to the table compared to search, which is a bunch of links. Now you have the exact answer. And the last step, I think this is where we are today. And the last step, this is where we are going, is like automating the implementations of these recommendations. So you want to do you're looking for a hotel in New York, that you end up making that booking easily, like seamlessly. This is where agentic AI envisions, right? Like that you do the entire 3 steps. And I think this is the debate that we have today, is this is going to happen or not? Like the implementation of their recommendations is automated. And this is today a dream, might not be in the future. But what AI agent today does is that hotels can create their own AI agent, which is replying questions about the hotel, about the pricing, about the timetable of the pool, restaurants. And this is reality. You can do all these things now. Right. And you can do it cross-platform. You can do it in chat bot, you can do WhatsApp, Messenger, WeChat, or even voice. Right. So you can do your AI agent. And again, AI is understanding natural language, multilingual, right, and giving recommendation. This is today. This is reality.
So the agent is here and now. The agentic piece, you think, is where it might. It's where people are saying it's going to go.
this is there's discussions and debates, and I think we all agree that will eventually happen at some point.
Hmm.
But the question is when. It's going to
Hmm.
be tomorrow, next month, next year, or in 5 years.
Yeah.
And my concern and my feeling is that the adoption is going to be much slower from users and from hotels in
Okay.
our industry.
Yeah.
This is my bet. So to back to your question, now we have some context for tech providers. I think there's much more of an opportunity than a threat.
Okay.
However, if you don't do anything, you'll be out of business in 2-3 years,
Well,
right?
we'll get to the
So,
threats in a minute, yeah,
but I
because
don't
that'd be
think
interesting thoughts.
exactly. But what is the opportunity? So consumers are shifting the way they behave, right? They
Hmm.
were searching and now they are using AI tools, platforms, apps, search.
Yep.
And this shift, if you are an early adopter and you do the right thing and probably are in the right place at the right time, you may hit a home run, right? It's going to be difficult,
Hmm.
but definitely when things are changing for those who bet, who make like bold action,
Yep.
there's more opportunity than a threat,
Yep.
right? So I think in exciting times for tech companies such as Mirai, but for all my peers,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we have to do things, especially if we are good in where we are now. So we are good serving search, we are good search, meta search, managing bookings, right? Doing websites. So if we do this correctly, we have no choice but to explore and to innovate in these AI agents and eventually agent AI. Maybe not today.
And I guess from an opportunity perspective as well, there's maybe two sides of that coin, because I guess one is how can you be utilizing that technology externally or within your products, services that are then provided externally to your clients, i.e., the hotels, but then also how you can utilize that technology internally to then make your own operation organization more effective, more efficient as well. And again, there seems to be quite a bit of, if we're looking at what bits are discussed, more seems to be discussed as to how they're bringing AI agents into technology to then provide it out to the hoteliers so the hoteliers don't have to do it themselves. And you hear less about how maybe it's being looked at. I know people don't want to talk about how they're developing a competitive edge with their own organization, but there are areas where AI agents and then maybe in the future agentic AI could be brought into an organization to make that more streamlined, more effective as well. Are Mirai looking at areas like that?
Well, and your point is very valid, and this is across all the industries and all
Mm-hmm.
players. AI is going to bring innovation and disruption in many areas that are in like that happens inside companies such as HR, financing, marketing. So there's a lot of transformation. We're doing a lot of different projects in all these different areas that will enhance operations
Yeah.
and will help us be more efficient.
Mm.
Right. So we are not seeing that as a part of human resources savings, and we don't want to replace people, but
No.
definitely we are and we hope to hire less people in the future,
Yes.
right? With AI innovation, and this is not going to happen only in Mirai, but any other
Oh yeah,
company, and
absolutely.
not only tech companies, but any company in the world. This is
Yeah.
the first disruption, and as I told you before, no one is going to come with a magic wand saying, "Hey, this is gonna AI will save your life." Each company has to have a like to reflect what you can improve internally with your own team,
Yeah.
because nobody's gonna unless you hire a consultancy firm, right? Because it may cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
But that's the inside transformation. It's gonna happen everywhere. And then is the external disruption, which is what we develop as a tech provider
Yeah.
will be highly affected by AI,
Yeah.
right? Especially when we connect to the end customer, because at the end of the day, we're very close to the hotel provider. But the
Absolutely.
beautiful part of the hotel industry is that no matter how consumers end up making their decision, but nothing will replace the hotel experience,
No.
right?
Yeah.
Compared to other services, you can maybe even replace
Some of
them
it can be
with
replaced.
AI.
Yeah.
But hotels, they have the huge advantage that you want to go to Barcelona. Nothing is going to replace your experience in a hotel in Barcelona,
Yeah.
local experience.
Yeah.
So what hotels and tech providers representing hotels need to be very, very innovative is connecting the hotel to the new gatekeepers that might like grow or start or become popular, because maybe search or Google or Instagram in 5 years it will be completely different players.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we need to be ready. And I always tell my clients, I have three kids, and you know that, but my eldest daughter is about to turn 15, and her ecosystem, her application is completely different than mine.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So she doesn't use email address. I mean, the email
Yeah.
service. She doesn't search,
Okay.
right? And so her world is TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, ChatGPT, and Snapchat,
Wow.
right?
Okay. Yeah.
So, and this generation is growing, right? And they will be highly impacted by all this AI innovation,
Yeah.
but they will be native, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
so placements, I mean, gatekeepers are going to change very rapidly. So for us, the challenge is to be connected to the new ones, right, when the time comes.
That makes a lot of sense. It probably leads us a little bit on to then talking about the threats, because one of the threats is not leading into
Correct.
that. So I've got some points I want to touch on in a minute as kind of threats and get your view on it. But your take first of all. What do you think are the biggest threats that hotel companies? You've kind of alluded to some of it there, but
Mhm.
let's clarify it and answer the question directly.
Well, I think the if companies pretend that nothing is going to change because this is an exploratory stage of the consumer, and this is a bad decision. So for us, it will be a time of investing, and sometimes investing isn't necessarily in IT, but
Mm-hmm.
in learning, in understanding and reading and getting external insights or knowledge from companies that understand where the market is going. So
Yeah,
we cannot pretend that, okay, we will adapt.
sure.
So if there is an early adopter that does a great job, you can be out of business in a few years.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that can happen and that can happen too. So we don't know, but it will be risky for all our industry
Yeah.
companies not to do anything, and for hotels as well. So hotels would need to should need should ask their IT partners, providers, hey, what are you doing?
Yeah.
How are you gonna position my hotel in a place where I will be in the right place when the time comes? Because I mean, it's like they have to make sure that the providers they work with are doing the right thing, even though the right thing we don't know what that is yet, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we need to be agile and highly flexible. And probably 50% of our work will be worthless,
Yep.
right? But the thing is that the other 50 might save us in the future.
That makes sense. We've seen already this year a little bit, and the end of last year a little bit of acquisitions going on. If we just look for the moment from a threats perspective to the hotel tech providers, do you see a scenario going forward where, if we look at the current providers that exist, that some of those run the risk of becoming obsolete, or that the industry will start to consolidate around some major companies and platforms that just develop those other solutions and either acquire them or develop them as add-ons, and the actual market shrinks in somewhat.
Mhm. Well, I mean, you're totally right that especially the last 2 to 4 years, there's been a pretty intense consolidation movement in the market. So the hotel tech industry we have quite a lot of transactions every year. And it
Mm-hmm.
makes total sense. It was very fragmented, especially in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And from a growth perspective and maturity perspective, consolidation is a natural step. However, innovation is much easier in startup companies compared to big tech companies.
Yep.
Big companies struggle to innovate. And this AI era that we are approaching, we're in the middle of, is definitely a challenge for big companies,
Mm-hmm.
especially companies that come from a rigid and, let's say, legacy world, from PMS,
Yep.
CRS, GDS. This is pretty old world.
Mm-hmm.
So innovating within these industries is not easy because hotels are an hotels are an operational business.
Yep.
They are based on running a hotel seamlessly and smoothless and the most efficient way, right? This is what is key for hotels. And there's
Mm-hmm.
no innovation there. Well, there's compared to so there's a lot of innovation, but not the way the AI is going. So the thing here is how to reconcile these companies that are very close to the hotel
Yep.
working from a PMS perspective when the AI the innovation is taking place very close to the consumer, which is at the other side of the equation, right? And these companies, my assumption is they will struggle to innovate,
Okay.
right? So there will a lot of new AI companies will emerge, right? But the challenge for them is accessing data, right? Because
Yep.
for have a successful AI model, you need data and you need a problem to solve, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the first is having accurate data. Otherwise,
Yep.
you have hallucination taking place, right?
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a challenging times. I will assume that big companies will acquire a lot of emerging AI players.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be very interesting times to be in the M&A industry that is 2025 and 2026.
Yeah.
But many of these AI companies they will buy will be worthless
Yeah.
because they didn't have the right technology. Well, it's going to be
Takes
definitely
us back a
challenging.
few years when we had with the Silicon Valley, where there was just companies exploding and getting money left, right, and center, and then just
And buying
a
companies
big
with
clear
no
out.
revenue,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
So, but yeah, I mean, if you are selling a company, the problem is not yours anymore,
No,
right?
well, if your aim is to build something, get investment, ultimately, because all you're looking to do is for someone to buy it, well, there'll be a space probably to create that opportunity.
But there's going to be a lot of these companies,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
That
exactly.
are created just to be sold.
Yeah, very much so. Picking up on your point about data, wondering what your view is on this perceived threat.
Hmm.
I think might occur, and that relates not to the tech providers now, but from the hotel side. I'm wondering whether we would start to see a divide occur within the hotel industry between the major brands and very large management companies and the smaller groups or independent hotels. I envisage that if I'm sitting there in one of the major brands, I don't want to miss this boat. I would be looking at trying to find a way of having a clean, consolidated data platform where I can then be investing in a data AI team, maybe even opening up opportunities to look at acquisitions of some companies coming through, where I can say, look, I don't need old legacy solutions. I don't need to rely on SaaS solutions with APIs. I have the data. It's my data. I'll make it clean. I'll build the agents on top of it, and then we can lean into the agentic AI piece as that develops. Maybe I'm just, maybe I'm hallucinating like an AI agent. But
It could be.
but what are your thoughts on that as a possible threat?
Well, once more, I think the large groups, I think scale makes a difference,
Hmm.
right? And for big brands, for Marriott, for Hilton, Hyatt, the big guys in the hotel industry, they do have an advantage
Hmm.
because they have data, they have already structured data, they've invested heavily in their loyalty programs. They know their customers, they know who they are, where they live, what they want.
Hmm.
And especially in the US where loyalty is a must,
Yeah.
right? People don't start in Booking or in Expedia, they start in Marriott app or Hilton app. So
Interesting.
they have achieved that already. For them, AI is an opportunity, but it's a big threat
Hmm.
because if that behavior is changed because of the agentic AI, they might have more to lose than to win because
Okay.
the loyalty and the it is again there's a huge difference between the US and Europe is
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
how they have created this relationship with the clients, with the customers, and this is the result of heavily investments in CRM, loyalty, and technology, and that data. They have a lot of data,
Hmm.
well-structured data. Of course, they need to put that to work for AI solutions, to build their AI agents, to connect their AI agents with the AI search agent, such as ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they are doing that. And I wouldn't be surprised instead of Amadeus or Sabre Group buying small AI companies, but that Marriott and Hilton acquire AI IT companies
Yeah.
because they need this talent within their organization. So
Yeah. Exactly.
I think this is yet another reason why the world is going toward this direction of more hotels and their brands and fewer hotels remaining independent. Because independent hotels, you don't have mm, negotiating power with
Yeah.
the OTAs. You don't have data either now.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a lot of reasons to remain independent, but for AI, being part of the group is definitely will be a huge advantage.
Yeah.
For the rest, they will need companies such as Mirai and many other players, but they will not be able to do this disruption, to jump into this car of innovation by themselves. They
Gotcha.
will not have the money, they will not have the time, they will
Yeah.
not have the talent. Right? They need partners that they go hand in hand and see where this world is going. But Marriott and Hilton are big enough to do them themselves, right?
Yeah.
They don't
That's
need
yeah. That's what I thought.
a. And I don't think they might need, but they will buy that because it will be core business for them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Um, Final perceived threat that I could see, and this is completely new players. So we know if I take a company like Salesforce that is
Mhm.
bringing a lot of companies use it, a lot of hotels will use it. It's bringing AI into its own solutions. Do you envisage a threat to existing hotel tech providers from current new or existing businesses that supply industry with a platform, AI agents, but haven't yet targeted the hotel industry and might look at that as a space that they want to occupy?
Well, I mean, we discussed it before. There will be threats and opportunities across the board, and new players that already work with AI agents in different industries might try to jump to the hotel industry.
Hmm.
I think hotel industry is very mm, particular in the way that a hotel transaction is not an easy transaction to make,
Hmm.
and partners in the existing IT stack of hotels, such as PMS, CRS, or booking engines, we have the access to the ARI of the hotel. We know how to make bookings. We know how the life of a reservation works with the cancellation, a potential cancellation in the future, payments. privacy, or loyalty. So there are a lot of variables that make the hotel industry quite different and challenging for a newcomer.
Hmm.
Let's remember how Amazon tried to jump into the OTA ecosystem and it
Yeah.
didn't succeed. So is I'm not saying it is not going to happen. I'm just saying it's not as easy as it
Not as simple as it might
seems,
look from the
right?
outside.
Yeah, from the outside. So I think there might be a new competitor coming from different industries, but I think the culture to the hotel, we have a pro of having the data, the knowledge of making a transaction, and the knowledge how the hotels are, what their concerns are. But we have the disadvantage of not understanding what's going on in AI, and this is our challenge: understanding fast, implementing fast, and putting a solution on the table fast. Of course,
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
don't do it, somebody will.
Someone will, undoubtedly. Um, you've mentioned it a couple of times already, and I kind of switch hats a little bit, put myself in the seat of a hotelier. I might have investors, owners, whoever that I'm responding to, reporting to. They'll be doing the same. They'll be reading all about this, AI agents. We got to lean into AI. Data. That to me has now become either the door that opens the world to these things, or it becomes the biggest challenge to anybody being able to implement anything from an AI perspective. So, I guess one of the things I wanted to get your view on is just how data will either enable or disable the ability to do these. And I look at it from two sides. One, I look at it internally, in terms of how data is handled by hoteliers, and then B, externally, in terms of policies, policies, politics, uh,
Mhm.
people's perceptions. What if a hotelier came to you and said, "Look, we're looking at going down this AI agent route. We really want to explore it." Answering purely from an angle of data and the risks that presents, how would you respond to them? What would be the caveats or red flags you might highlight them towards considering?
Well, definitely data is king. If there is no data, there is no AI or
Hmm.
reliable AI solution you can
Hmm.
implement, right? So
Hmm.
data is a starting point.
Yeah.
And hotels haven't been very good on data
Yeah.
recently. And so the first thing is that they need to start building a data storage, right?
Yeah.
But the the funny thing is that that they are sitting on a pile of data, which is the PMS, but they cannot use it, or
Hmm.
they are very bad using it.
Hmm.
So they have a lot of data, but they don't use it, which is but that is the good thing at the same time. So they do have data. They
Yeah.
just need to enable that data to put it to work, right? So they need a data storage or engine,
Yeah.
and they need to to make sure that privacy and politics are in place as well, especially European Union, in the US, the states such as California.
Yeah.
The legal part is important,
Yeah. The
and
compliancy of
for
that data,
the
isn't it? Yeah.
compliance, exactly, and what data you can use, what data you can use, the expiration of the specific data. So this is not easy, and this is important for many hotels and for many consumers. So if you see, one of the main concerns from a consumer perspective is this privacy
Hmm.
issue, right? So
Hmm.
it's one of the questions that first arises when you ask, would you use AI? My, but the way they use my personal data when I interact with this AI.
Yeah.
So this is important. And mm, to your question, specific question, we are now building our AI agent, right?
Yeah.
Actually, several of them. Um, our challenge is to do it without the need of the hotel doing anything. Why? Because hotels don't have much time.
No, exactly.
Uh, if you give, upload here all the information you have of your hotel. They will do nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So the way we're approaching this is how to upload as much information as we have or we can scrape for different sources.
Mm-hmm.
So the hotel starts with something that they can polish later on. But the first onboarding needs to be in automatic in a way that the hotel starts building on something,
Yeah.
because they don't have data. Well, they do have data in the PMS, but they don't know how to use it. They
No.
have a lot of faxes of the hotels, but
Yeah.
they're spread around. If you give them, look, upload data here and everything will work, that's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
All the hotels that are highly motivated will use it, but not the rest of the industry.
Yeah.
So definitely data is a big concern. This is what we are doing, right? We're trying to build something that works good enough with data we uploaded automatically by ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So hotels that start seeing results, early quick wins,
Yeah.
and that they can achieve the rest of the wins by updating the data,
I've got you.
right?
Yeah, yeah. But they can get
And
going with what's already there, and then it can
it would
just
be like
improve as you go forward.
a plug and play,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then we are giving them like a dashboard that they can update just to polish the data or
Yeah,
do incremental data, and we are using AI in that dashboard to understand multilingual. So there's not going to be an internationalized
got you.
interface. You can write any language you want because we will understand. So we are using AI to get what the hotel want to tell us,
Yeah,
right?
that makes
So
sense.
this is this is the project we are in our hands now.
Mm-hmm.
But your point is totally essential, which is data.
Yeah,
Hotels need to work on the data solutions. And sometimes it's just getting all the PDFs or the PMS exports in a way that are manageable. And many hotels, believe it or not,
no,
are
that
not
makes
there yet.
yeah. One other thing when I think about data and some piece of technology accessing data. So back to me being in, the hotelier, I'm being told to explore these AI agents. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll deal with the data challenge. But I'm about to go out and find a provider that's going to build something for me. To me, the moment I add something into that equation, I am creating a potential weakness in my security and opening up a potential avenue for somebody to be able to access and hack into me. And
Mhm.
we hear these stories all the time. So as well as consolidating data into a structured way that it can be used, ensuring that it's clean so that we're not providing data that the agents are going to hallucinate with, ensuring that we're then compliant as well with the various policies, GDPR, California you mentioned as well. I mean, just on a fundamental level, we are opening up an avenue where there is a potential security risk as well. I mean, that's got to be an incredibly high flag to be considering.
And that's inevitably will slow down adoption, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everything could be much easier if there's no regulation,
Yeah.
right? You can access any data because consumers don't care about privacy, but that's exactly the opposite. So consumers do care about privacy, and you have regulators writing laws
Mm-hmm.
to prevent the privacy holes to be out, right? So you have, AI solutions have two hurdles in this race, which is privacy and regulation.
Yeah.
And so my view, this is why I don't think this is going to be as fast as many say, because the adoption will be slow because among many other factors, because of these two factors, but AI will work and will be highly successful if they can keep trust in the consumer and the supplier.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a security flaw in a big company, either a gatekeeper or a supplier, and consumers don't trust anymore, let's see what happens then. Because if consumers stop trusting what they're getting from AI,
Yeah.
so we are taking that for granted so far, but that might change if
Yeah.
there is a fraud. Or there's, hey, why did I find my data in this? Oh, because I used the day before this other AI solution.
Yeah.
I will stop exchanging personal data with, and then I will deep link to the supplier to finish my transaction or to ask personal questions. So this is why I think AI agents are here to stay, especially from suppliers directly,
Hmm.
because is there another way of interacting with the supplier, either website, phone call, or AI agents,
Yeah.
but you're talking to them directly.
Yeah.
I hesitate about this agentic AI because you are talking to someone in the middle who are supposed to make it easier. But what about payments? What about security? What about privacy?
Yeah.
What about loyalty?
Yeah.
So this is why I think the AI might be the future road that the industry go in that direction.
Yeah.
I think it will be much lower than many say. That's again
Yeah.
my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I can see why you could draw that conclusion. So I'm very conscious of your time, and thank you again for freeing up the time to have this conversation. I always find it fascinating to get your views on it. My last question for you. So media, event organizers, we could all be guilty of focusing on the newest shiny tech we promises the world. So
Mhm.
hello, that's why we're all writing about agentic AI and AI agents. But back with my hotelier hat on again. I'm sitting here going into the summer period. I'm starting to give some early thoughts to my 2026 budget. I'm going to be evaluating where I may be investing in technology. And whilst this can all be fascinating and interesting to talk about AI, it also can cause, from a hotelier's point of view, confusion. It could be a shiny distraction, and
Mhm.
potentially even create hesitation in thinking, should I be investing in tech? Should I be waiting? If I am going to invest, where should I be investing? So again, if I was to sit you round a table with a number of hoteliers that would ask that question and say, what should I be considering now as I'm starting to evaluate and put my tech budgets together for 2026, where should I be going? How should I be bringing this whole AI agent, agentic AI piece into the puzzle? Or is it just another piece to put in the puzzle later down the line? What would your advice
Mhm.
be to them?
Well, I think I mean, AI is here to stay. We all know that.
Hmm.
And there are many solutions that are already working. So my first advice would be truly understanding what AI means. There are many hotels that still don't understand AI, what that brings to the table, what problems they solve, things that can be done today. They
Hmm.
might be a little far from their businesses, but they need to understand what this is going on and
Hmm.
what this is about. Because the day that they have to make a decision, they will not be ready.
Hmm.
And to me, what I would advise is training, learning, bringing talent, or bringing knowledge from maybe external companies that bring, hey, this is what AI is about. So
Yeah.
be ready when the time comes. This is what would be my first advice,
Hmm.
because I mean, you mentioned media, everything is about AI, but at the same time, 50%, if not more, is just opportunistic,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So differentiating what the companies add value and what those don't is difficult, especially if you have a limited budget.
Hmm.
So my advice would be more training and learning and see what others do. If I were independent, I would definitely try to be an early follower
Okay.
rather than one of the early adopters
Okay.
of
Yep.
those who risk and invest, because I have a limited budget, I don't have the talent, I don't have
No,
the
exactly.
time.
That's the thing. Yeah.
But you need to follow what others do,
Hmm.
right? To and be able to react when you can make a decision.
Yeah.
Because if you don't know what decision to make and you have no clue what you're doing, the only everything will end up in frustration and refusal, right? Like denial. Oh, no, this AI is
Yeah.
Is nothing. It's like these other buzzwords that we had in the past that ended up being nothing,
Yeah.
right? But that's wrong because AI is here to stay.
It's
It's
already
going to be
here, isn't it?
huge
Yeah.
disruption, Trevor. Huge disruption. AI is a disruption comparable to the internet,
Hmm.
comparable to touchable screens. So a disruption of a size that can only happen every 20 years.
Yeah.
And AI is one of those. So, but the huge challenge for independent hoteliers is understanding what to do.
Hmm.
But the first thing is that they don't know, don't even understand the basics.
Yeah.
They are not ready to make that decision.
And that's why maybe, as you say, being an early follower, it's like see what others are doing, understand and educate yourself as to why they might be doing it. And
Exactly.
then that'll help you to try and see, is that a problem or is that an opportunity? If it's a problem you have in your hotel, it might be worth considering. If it's an opportunity that you could leverage, it might be worth considering. It may not be either of those two things, in which case, well, you've
Right.
informed yourself, but what you've also done is you've saved yourself the hassle and the money of taking a route that actually doesn't lead to an ROI that you're going to need.
It might sound conservative, but I think it's realistic.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? Innovation is very difficult for independent hotel in the AI, which is something out of their business. It's not a core
No.
competency of their, unless it's AI for the operation perspective of the hotel. But from the selling and the commercialization of the hotels online, this is not the core business.
Yeah.
So this is, and again, from a hotel perspective, you want to be in the as many gatekeepers as possible, but nothing will replace a hotel in a destination. So this is a destination challenge. This isn't a hotel challenge. Barcelona, Amsterdam, New York, they will survive to this AI wave,
Yeah.
don't they? So they will survive. You might lose direct sales because
Hmm.
you lost the train of AI,
Yeah.
but you will be able to get those sales back. So your business is not under threat as a hotel.
Yeah.
That's a hotel tech company. That's
Yeah.
a different story, but as a hotel. So I see if you're spending money, time in an industry that everything is changing as we speak, right? And even for the two of us, which are in this industry, it's difficult to foresee what's going to happen, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine for a hotel
Yeah.
that their
That aren't even
priority
at
is
that.
doing checking,
Yeah.
checking
They're further
out.
removed. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't see any advantage of innovating, being an independent, but just understanding and seeing what's going on, reading, asking questions, and when everything is a little bit clearer, making a decision.
Yeah.
And to, I mean, many hotels will not be in that position when the time comes because they are not doing this. They are not reading. Like these years, tourism is booming, has boomed, right? And and I don't see them very concerned.
Yeah.
Let's say they say that they use those polite words. Maybe a different circumstance with sales declining, they might. But now the travel, I mean, the hotel industry is
Yeah.
booming.
They're not interested, are they? It's just
They are not very interested.
making hay while the sun shines. It seems to be going crazy.
Exactly,
Just keep the money rolling in.
exactly. Maybe we would be in the same position, right?
Maybe. Who
With a
knows?
beautiful problem to have, right?
Exactly. On that note, I reiterate, I'm conscious you're very busy. You've given up a lot of time.
It's a
I always
pleasure.
appreciate talking with you about these things, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to join us today. Thank you so much.